Hi guys, so I'm back here now with the Redmi Note 5. This of course is the new Chinese model with the revised camera on the back, so it's got that wider aperture. If you've seen my unboxing, which is basically like a hands-on review, I'll give you some photo samples of that. So this video here, I just wanted to give you a quick update that what's the phone like after 48 hours now I have been using it. I just wanted to mention a couple of little things here. So one of the things that's really annoying with this phone, of course, being a Chinese model, that you don't have Google Play Store installed. Now, I do have it here, and I can confirm that, yes, it's running fine now, but it took me quite some time to get this all set up and installed. I will probably be releasing a backup file that you can just restore on the phone, so you've got Google Play contact syncs, and the account manager and things like that, and the framework, because that I was having a lot of problems to get it working, because normally what you do, if you go into the Xiaomi Mi store, you just normally type in Google. Now there is something there that actually will allow you to run Google's Play Store, but you must go through the application, and it's almost like a VPN, probably the way that the Chinese circumvent Google, of course, being blocked in China, and that's really annoying to use. So that was quite a bit of a problem I had to start with. Now, I've had a lot of questions. In my first hands-on, I did make a couple of errors that, yes, it does support quick charge. I'll just show you that now. And why I originally said that it didn't, because I was only getting figures of 5 volts, 2 amps coming through the charger anyway with my meter. But if I plug in my Qualcomm Quick Charge 3 charger, you see it comes up with the little logo at the top. I actually missed that in the video. Someone pointed it out and said, hey, isn't that the Qualcomm Quick Charge logo? But I've noticed that it doesn't actually seem to charge it really that much faster. So I don't know whether it's Qualcomm Quick Charge 3 that it's using, or it could actually just be the Qualcomm Quick Charge 2 spec. It's really hard to tell. My meter's not reporting the correct charge rates on it. See, this is the meter I have, and it hovers around, well, 2 amps when it's charging, and about 6 volts it gets up to, which is kind of odd. So it's not really reporting that information correctly, charging at about 10 watts. Now, I did charge it last night, and I can confirm that the battery capacity is close to the 4,000 milliamp hours. It reported something like 3,912, I think it was. And for you PUBG fans out there, yes, it runs it. This is on the medium setting, and it's not super smooth, but I've managed to play the game for quite some time. 3 hours, in fact, last night, and I managed to get my winner chicken dinner. And the frame rate's good enough that, yes, that you can play the game, that you'll be able to actually win like I did here, and overall, not too bad. That's on the medium. If you're not happy with the frame rate, which I say hovers around about 25 frames per second, 30 at times, and when really crowded areas, it will drop down, then just set it on the low settings, of course. Now, when I was playing the game, I only lost about 25% battery life in 3 hours, which is really good. And that means that yesterday I managed to get a screen on time of 10 hours. Now this is continual screen on time. I had it on most of the time because I was gaming, I was downloading apps and things, and I was also in Chrome and YouTube watching videos. And at the moment, I've been using it today. I haven't made any voice calls today, and I'm into 1 hour and a half and 84% battery. Well, 91% battery that's left at the moment there. So it's looking like it's definitely going to be a 2-day mobile phone in terms of battery life. The other thing is it's not going to be as good as the Redmi Note 4, because the Redmi Note 4, I managed to get about screen on time of 14 hours. It was just an amazing result. So it's not going to be as good here. Remember, there's more pixels on this screen. It is a slightly larger screen. But it is looking like that Snapdragon 636 is going to be just as efficient as the Snapdragon 625, but it's a lot powerful, and it does mean the performance of the phone overall does feel quite good. It feels to me almost like a Snapdragon 660. I mean, it's got the same GPU, I think, isn't it? The Adreno 509. But overall, I've noticed performance of the ROM is good. However, I have now and then seen a tiny little stutter, and I think that's down to optimization. And when you have a look at the synthetic benchmarks, I showed you this in my hands-on video, the first one that I released, that the Antutu score is really good. This is in fact almost double the Snapdragon 625. So it's a huge step up over that particular chipset. Now, one other little minor problem I have here with my unit, I found that the wireless reception, the range of it, seems to be about 1 bar less than my Xiaomi Mi Max 2 that I have, and the speeds aren't as fast as I was hoping for. Normally, on the 5G band of wireless AC, I can push around 150, 130, both upload and download with these particular phones here. And when the flagship ones, they get a lot faster with their 2x2 antenna setup. For example, the Snapdragon 835 or the 845, and the same goes for the 4G speeds. 4G speeds, I mean, it could be my carrier, but I've been testing this and I can't really seem to get any faster 4G downloads than about 15 megabits per second and the uploads. And this could be because I'm on the Chinese version. Even though I've got 4G coverage, perhaps the current band that I'm on isn't the most optimized or fastest band there. So that's just one area of minor concern there, a minor complaint I have with the wireless speeds and the 4G speeds. Now, one other thing too is the front-facing camera will support those depth effect shots. So with your bokeh blurred background, simply by pressing this, and it's going to use the AI. So this does have the AI with the cameras to do the stitching. So stitching between the blurred background and then you in focus is handled, of course, by the AI. Now, here's a sample I took with the front-facing camera. I'll have maybe a camera review coming up, or definitely will be included in my full review. And you can see there the stitching seems to be pretty good. It does a good job, so not bad at all there, which is quite good considering this is, again, a budget mobile phone. Now, when you have a look to the right of the earpiece, I pointed out what looks like, I thought, an ambient light sensor. The ambient light sensor or proximity sensor is over here. Now, it could be an ambient light sensor, or it could, in fact, be like a 1 megapixel or 2 megapixel tiny little secondary camera there, just to maybe perhaps grab the background and aid those depth effect selfie shots. Now, as I pointed out in my hands-on, that if you want to record 4K video, at the moment the stock app does not support it. So you must use a third-party camera app. Now, this is Open Camera, so you can set it to 4K video. Now, when I did my test in my unboxing video, I did not have the video stabilization enabled. So someone in the comments asked me, will the electronic image stabilization work? So I'm now using Open Camera here, 4K, but I have enabled the electronic image stabilization, which, as you can see, actually works in 4K as well. Now, I don't know how this is going to affect the frame rate. I have noticed that it will affect the focus performance a little bit. It doesn't seem to be as quick, but that stability seems quite good. So see how it locks on now to the hibiscus flower right here. It's capturing that quite well. And then the wall there in the background. So the focus really is quite good. Of course, Vera's got to get in the shot. So great to have on a budget mobile phone like this, priced around $220 US. Electronic image stabilized 4K with this kind of quality, I feel isn't bad at all. So just do that focus test again with my hand. See, it locks onto my hand really quick there and onto the background. So that is great. And for once we don't have that focus pulsing and breathing issue that we used to have on literally every single Xiaomi mobile phone, including their flagships, suffering from that issue. Now, the latest MIUI that this is running, this is on Android 8.1, and it's MIUI 9.5 that I'm running, does now have gestures. So I've been using it and getting used to it, and I actually do like it. It's not too bad. So if you don't want to have the on-screen navigation buttons here, I really wish they'd still put the capacitive ones in the bottom bezel, but I don't know why they're not doing that anymore. Maybe it's cost or something like that. But to go back is to simply swipe on the side here, and I find that it works well. Now, if you want to go into your recent apps, it's just hold up and stop in the middle, and you've got all your recent apps there. And as I mentioned, yeah, the performance of that seems to be pretty good, but now and then I've seen a couple of little stutters, so Xiaomi has to do a bit of optimization. And then if you want to go to the home screen, you just simply swipe up, and you get used to it, and it does work. I'm actually finding it to be all right. And of course, your toggles are at the top there. That's all the same there, your notifications and everything there. So I'm still working through all of my tests. I'll report back on my full battery life findings. Things like charge time will be included, more gaming, GPS, you name it, that's going to all be in my final review. So I'm really liking the Snapdragon 636. It's my first time with this chipset, and I can just say straight away that step aside Snapdragon 625 devices, this chipset is just so much better. I really do like it. I think it's that perfect blend, again, from Qualcomm, with battery life and performance. So performance for everyone, performance for playing all your games you like out there. Of course, it won't be as smooth as the flagships. It won't give you that 60 frames per second, but it gives you playable frames per second. But the best thing is too that it's going to give you longer battery life, because the Snapdragon 845 or the 835 is going to burn through your battery a lot quicker gaming than it would, of course, on this device here. And this really has a lot of positives. I mean, the camera performance is looking really quite good, especially in daylight. Takes some really stunning photos, a good dynamic range. And overall, I am really liking this phone. It's looking like an absolute winner here from Xiaomi. My only area of concern is the wireless range and speeds just don't seem to be up to what I would expect from a mobile like this. Now, don't forget you can win one of these. Have a look at the link down in the description of this video. And I do hope to catch you back with my full and final review of the Xiaomi Redmi Note 5 and perhaps a camera comparison as well against my Samsung Galaxy S7.